2.5 years of construction. So it'll be 2 years from now that we really see it.
When is the shovel?
There have been grandiose plans for this.
I'd say shovel in the ground is about 2 years to 2.5 years from now.
From now.
Yeah.
So there have been grandiose plans for this set of piers for decades.
Yeah.
Cruise ship terminals, mixed-use development, etc. They've all fallen through. What's going to be different this time?
Well, I think this time we've been doing things a little differently, and certainly under my administration, with as much kind of private sector investment that this idea calls for. I wanted to make sure that elected supervisors and port staff and commission, rec park staff and commission, planning staff and commission have kind of a similar vision. So we worked behind the scenes last month to really talk to everybody and get their upfront view on this. And I'll tell you, that's resulted in that nice letter that we sent, because I think in the last week or so, when they were really thinking, is this really going to be something that we're going to commit, they saw that letter. And I think Peter and Joe and Rick, I think they saw this letter as being indicative of a new way that we wanted to approach this. Whereas before, we kind of announced something and then waited for everybody to weigh in. We've been through that several times, and you're absolutely right. Several times on this site, several times on big projects in the city. And I wanted to talk to staff, and I talked to Jen Matz, my whole economic team. Is there something we can do a little differently that signals a different spirit, one that's going to lead much more, have a chance to be successful? We didn't get to do that with America's Cup. You know, I wasn't really a part of that decision making. I was in the room with all the other economic reacting to things, but I think this is different for that very feeling that we're getting as much assurance on the front end that the vision is shared by a lot of other people. Not all details have been worked out. We're going to still have a lot of bumps in the road, and we're prepared to do that. But I think it's the signaling of a strong teamwork with not just the front office, but some people in the second and third levels already thinking through this and helping us think through it.
We don't have redevelopment anymore, so are you concerned that because of the inability of the city to use redevelopment power, that perhaps this deal won't get done if private markets change? There is that. I mean, I've done a lot of deals.
Sure. So, well, we of course had to do our own little financial research on our new owners, and you know, I don't think these three gentlemen would be here announcing so publicly that they're going to do this on private financing if they haven't locked that up. And I know also that they wouldn't be able to lock that up unless we were a city with a lot of economic confidence about where we're going. That's what I've been working on, and I think it's been very complimentary without getting into their private business.
Right.
You know, I haven't required them to name names for me or anything like that. All I said is, here's what I'm doing. Here are examples of why this new approach is getting success. We saved Twitter, but not only Twitter. Now you look at that very site, and there's at least 6 other companies that fill that whole place. And then I signaled CPMC, we're getting that done. We're getting 2 hospitals done. Oh, now it's 3, because Chinese Hospital and St. Luke's. Right. I mean, we're getting things done with a strong economic foundation, and our job creation is excited. You know, I did 2 commencement speeches last weekend, and you should have heard the number of kids who are so hopeful that our city is going into the jobs creation, because they're nervous coming out. Anybody would be nervous. But I think the investor confidence we've created in all things that we're doing has invited people to say, I'm going to put in hundreds of millions of dollars in the private stuff and take the risk with the city, because we're all going in it together.
We just have time for one more question and to get back to
possibly litigation from the city of Oakland?
Well, you know,
it's very real, I might add.
You know, I think then, you know, the first week, a lot of things are going to be said, and you know, I've been around long enough to know that the first week I don't react to, because it's, oh, they said that. Well, it's kind of like when I was elected, you know.